Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome back to the Easy English channel. I am your host, Emma, and I am absolutely delighted that you have decided to tune in today. You are listening to episode number 5 of our ongoing series, the Easy Beginner English Podcast. Whether you are listening to us on your morning commute, while you are cooking dinner, or just relaxing at home, we are so happy to be a part of your day. If you are looking to improve your speaking confidence or just want to immerse yourself in some natural, flowing English conversation, you have definitely come to the right place.
Hi, everyone. I am Leo, and I am thrilled to be back in the studio with you, Emma. I have to say, I always look forward to these recording sessions because it feels less like a lesson and more like just chatting with a good friend.
I feel exactly the same way, Leo. It is the highlight of my week. We have a really fantastic episode planned for today, covering a topic that I think every single English learner struggles with at some point. It's actually something that even native speakers find difficult sometimes. We are going to talk about that moment when you meet someone new and they look at you and ask the ultimate question.
Oh, I think I know which question you mean. It's the one that makes your brain go completely blank, right?
That's the one. Today's topic is Tell me about yourself. We are going to explore how to answer this question smoothly, naturally, and with confidence. We want to help you move past just saying your name and actually tell a little story about who you are.
That is such a valuable skill. You know, Emma, even though English is my first language, I still get a little nervous when I'm in a job interview or at a networking event and someone says, "So, Leo, tell me about yourself." Suddenly, I forget everything. I forget my hobbies, I forget what I do for work. Sometimes I almost forget my own name.
I think that is a very common feeling. It feels like such a huge, open-ended question. You start wondering, do they want to know about my career, or do they want to know that I love baking cookies on Sundays? It's hard to know where to focus. But that's exactly why we're here today. We're going to break it down into manageable pieces so you always have a plan in your back pocket.
I love having a plan. It makes everything less scary.
Exactly. But before we dive into all the tips and tricks, I have a little request for our wonderful listeners. If you're enjoying our conversations and want to keep improving your English with us, please take a second to hit that subscribe button right now. It really helps our channel grow, and it ensures you never miss a new episode.
Yes, and please do not forget to connect with us on social media. We have a really active community on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, and you can find all those links right down in the description below. We post daily vocabulary quizzes and behind-the-scenes content there. And hey, if you're busy today and don't have time for the full 20-minute episode, remember that we have shorts and clips available in the description too. They're perfect for a quick 5-minute English boost when you're in a rush.
Absolutely. Okay, Leo, let's get comfortable and start unpacking this topic. When you think about a good introduction, what is the very first thing that comes to mind?
Well, obviously, you have to start with the basics, right? You need to tell people who you are and where you come from. But I feel like just saying, "I'm Leo from the UK" is a bit boring. It doesn't really start a conversation.
I completely agree. The basics, name and location, are the foundation, but we need to decorate that foundation a little bit. Instead of just giving a one-word answer, try to add a small detail or a little bit of flavor to it. For example, tell me about where you are from again, but give me a little more picture of it.
Okay, let me try. I am originally from a small town in the north of England. It's a very quiet place with lots of green hills and sheep, and it rains almost every single day. But these days I'm living in London, which is much louder, busier, and honestly, a lot more exciting for me.
That was wonderful. Do you see the difference? You gave us a contrast. You talked about the quiet, rainy hills of your hometown versus the busy, exciting life in London. That immediately gives me a picture of your life. I can ask you, do you miss the quiet countryside? Or what is your favorite thing to do in London?
I see what you mean. By adding those extra details, I'm actually making it easier for the other person to talk to me. I'm giving them hooks to catch on to.
Hooks, that's the perfect word for it. You want to give them hooks to keep the conversation going. I'll try mine. I'm originally from a coastal town, so I grew up swimming and being near the ocean every day. I really miss the sound of the waves. But I moved to the city about 5 years ago for my career, and I've really fallen in love with the culture and the restaurants here.
That sounds lovely. And now I immediately want to ask you about the restaurants you have found. It works really well. So, for our listeners, try to describe your hometown with one or two adjectives. Is it crowded? Is it historic? Is it peaceful? And then compare it to where you live now.
Precisely. Now, after we cover the name, place, and the conversation almost always turns to what we spend most of our time doing, the inevitable question, what do you do?
The job question. This one can be tricky because some people have very complicated job titles that are hard to explain, like, I'm a senior vice president of strategic logistics solutions. If you say that at a party, everyone falls asleep.
That's so true. Keep it simple and, more importantly, talk about why you do it or what you actually do on a daily basis. Don't just give the title, give the meaning. Leo, you're a teacher. How would you introduce your work in an interesting way?
If I just say I'm a teacher, people usually say, oh, cool, and the conversation stops. So I usually say something like, I'm an English teacher, mostly for adult learners. I've been doing it for about 5 years now, and I really love it because I get to meet fascinating people from all over the world and learn about their cultures while helping them with grammar.
That is beautiful. You focused on the connection with people, not just the grammar rules. That makes you sound like a warm, interesting person. And notice, listeners, Leo used the phrase, I've been doing it for, using the present perfect continuous tense. That's a great grammar point to show stability and experience.
It is a very useful tense for introductions. And Emma, what about students? We have a lot of listeners who are university students. How should they answer this?
Great point. Students should definitely talk about their major, but also their goals. Don't just say, I'm a student. Say, I'm currently studying engineering at university. It's really challenging, lots of math, but I'm sticking with it because I dream of designing sustainable bridges in the future.
I dream of is such a powerful phrase. It shows ambition. And you can also be honest about the struggle. Saying it's really challenging makes you sound humble and relatable.
Exactly. Nobody likes a person who sounds too perfect. Being a little bit vulnerable or honest is very attractive in a conversation. Now, Leo, what if someone is in between jobs right now, or maybe they're taking a break to raise children? That can be an awkward thing to explain in English.
It doesn't have to be awkward. I think confidence is key. If you're looking for work, you can use the phrase, I'm currently exploring new opportunities. For example, I worked in sales for 10 years, but now I'm exploring new opportunities in marketing because I want to be more creative.
Exploring new opportunities. I love that. It sounds very proactive and positive. And for parents staying home,
You can say, right now, I'm taking some time off to focus on raising my young children, which is actually the hardest job I've ever had, but I'm hoping to get back into the workforce next year.
that's a perfect answer. It's honest, it's respectful of the hard work of parenting, and it hints at future plans. So we've covered name, location, and work. Now we get to the section that I think is the most fun, hobbies and interests.
This is my favorite part too, because this is where you really find out if you have things in common with someone. But Emma, I notice a lot of beginners just list things. They say, I like football, I like movies, I like sleeping.
Yes, the shopping list style. We want to avoid that. It's much better to pick one or two main hobbies and dive a little deeper into them. Explain why you love them or tell a tiny story about them.
Can you give us an example? Let's say someone likes cooking. How do they make that interesting?
Instead of I like cooking, try this. I'm a huge fan of cooking, especially spicy food. I try to make a new curry recipe every weekend. My kitchen usually looks like a disaster afterwards, but the food is worth it.
I love the detail about the messy kitchen. It creates a picture in my mind. It makes me want to come over for dinner, maybe after you've cleaned up.
You are always welcome, Leo. But you see, adding that little detail, I try to make a new recipe every weekend, shows consistency and passion. What about you? If you had to elaborate on a hobby, what would you say?
I would probably talk about my guitar. I might say, In my free time, I am trying to learn how to play the guitar. Honestly, my fingers hurt all the time and I am not very good yet. But I find it really relaxing to just sit down and make some noise after a busy day at work.
That is great. You used the phrase, in my free time, which is a classic transition. And again, you were honest about your fingers hurting. That is a relatable struggle for anyone who has learned an instrument. It makes you human.
Precisely. And listeners, you do not need to have a cool hobby. You don't need to be a skydiver or a mountain climber. If you like reading books in your pajamas, own it. I am a bit of a bookworm. There's nothing I love more than curling up on the sofa with a good fantasy novel and a cup of tea.
Bookworm. That is a fantastic vocabulary word for someone who loves reading. Write that one down, everyone. Okay, so we have the fun stuff covered. Now let's touch on something a little deeper. Sometimes people will ask, how would you describe yourself? Or they might ask about your personality.
This is the hardest part for me. I never want to sound arrogant, like I am the smartest, funniest person in the room, but I also don't want to sound boring.
It is a delicate balance. A great trick is to use the phrase, my friends would describe me as. This takes the pressure off you a little bit. It's not you saying it, it's your friends.
Oh, that is clever. So I could say, my friends would describe me as pretty easygoing and a good listener, although they might also say I am a bit terrible at being on time.
Are you terrible at being on time, Leo?
Only sometimes, but admitting a small flaw can actually make you seem more trustworthy. If you say I'm perfect, nobody believes you. If you say I am hardworking, but I drink too much coffee, people say, ah, I understand them.
That is very true. Vulnerability connects people. I might say I'm a very organized person. I love my lists and planners, but I can be a little bit impatient when things move too slowly. I'm working on that.
I am working on that is a nice phrase too. It shows personal growth. So we have a really solid structure now. The detailed background, the meaningful job description, the deep dive into hobbies, and the honest personality check.
It's a full package. Before we put it all together into a final role play, let's take a quick pause. We've been talking a lot about ourselves, but we want to know about you.
Yes, this is the part of the show where we get to interact with our global community.
We want you to go to the comments section right now. Tell us which country you are watching from, and then try to write one interesting sentence about your hobby using the tips we just gave. Don't just say, I like swimming. Tell us why.
Maybe something like, I'm from Brazil and I love swimming in the ocean because it makes me feel free. We really do love reading these comments. It's amazing to see people from 50 different countries all learning together.
It really is. So please leave a comment. We read as many as we can. Okay, Leo, welcome back to the conversation. Are you ready for the final exam?
Oh no, an exam! I didn't study.
Don't worry, it's a fun exam. I want us to role play a scenario. Let's pretend we're at a dinner party. We're sitting next to each other, but we haven't met yet. I'll turn to you and start the conversation. Ready?
I was born ready. Let's do it.
Hi there. I don't think we've had the chance to meet yet. I'm Emma.
Hi, Emma. Nice to meet you. I'm Leo.
So, Leo, tell me a little bit about yourself. How do you know the host?
Well, I actually know the host from university. We studied together years ago. As for me, I am originally from the north of England, but I've been living here in the city for about a decade now. I work as a teacher, which keeps me pretty busy, but I really enjoy the energy of the classroom. When I'm not working, you can usually find me struggling to learn the guitar or searching for the best pizza place in town. I'm a pretty relaxed guy, so I'm just happy to be here with good food and good company. How about you, Emma? Tell me about yourself.
Wow, that sounds great. I need to get some pizza recommendations from you later. Well, I'm from the coast originally, but like you, I moved here for work. I'm a podcast host and content creator, which is amazing because I'm passionate about education and helping people connect. I'm definitely a people person, though I do need my quiet time with a good book to recharge on the weekends. And honestly, I'm just here for the cake.
Excellent. That felt so natural, Emma.
It did. And did you notice what you did at the end, Leo? You asked me, how about you?
Yes, that's the golden rule of conversation. It's like a game of tennis. You can't just hold the ball, you have to hit it back. If you talk for 2 minutes and then just stop, there's this awkward silence.
The dreaded awkward silence. We want to avoid that. Always throw the ball back. How about you? Or what do you do for fun?
And another thing I noticed in our role play, we were smiling. It sounds silly to say on an audio podcast, but you can hear a smile.
You absolutely can. When you smile, your voice goes up a little bit. It sounds friendlier. If you're nervous, your voice can get flat and robotic. My name is Leo. We want to avoid the robot voice.
Be a human, not a robot. It's better to make a few grammar mistakes but sound happy and interested than to speak perfectly with zero emotion.
That's the best advice. Confidence and connection are more important than perfection. People will forgive a wrong verb tense, but they won't remember you if you don't show your personality.
I feel like we've really covered everything today, from the first hello to the final detailed hobby. I hope our listeners feel ready to go out there and introduce themselves to the world.
I hope so too. Just remember the structure we talked about. Start with your name and a detail about your home, move to your job and why you like it, share a hobby with a little story, and describe your personality honestly. If you do those 4 things, you'll be a conversation superstar.
A conversation superstar. I like the sound of that.
Well, Leo, I think that brings us to the end of another episode. Time really flies when we're having fun chatting.
It really does. This was a great topic. Thank you for guiding us through it, Emma.
And thank you for being the perfect example student, Leo. To all our listeners, thank you so much for spending your valuable time with us today. We truly appreciate you being part of the Easy English family.
If you haven't done it yet, please remember to subscribe, give this video a big thumbs up if you learned something new, and share it with a friend who's also learning English. It really helps us out.
And don't forget to check the description for links to our other videos. We had a great episode last week about planning your new year, so if you missed that, go back and give it a listen. It pairs really well with today's topic of new beginnings and introductions.
Definitely check that out. Also, follow us on Instagram and TikTok for those daily tips.
Keep practicing, keep speaking, and remember, you have an interesting story to tell, so don't be afraid to share it.
See you in the next episode, everyone. Bye.
Bye for now. Stay happy and healthy.